At 6:12 on a quiet evening in Kyoto, a woman in her late 60s returns home carrying a small cloth shopping bag. She stops at the entrance, slips off her shoes, and places them neatly beside the door. Then she stands still for a moment. No phone in her hand, no television playing in the background, no rush to answer messages or sort through a pile of deliveries. Just a slow breath, a simple pause between the outside world and the sanctuary of her home. She walks into a modest apartment. The space is not large. The furniture is not expensive. There are no luxury decorations designed to impress visitors. Yet something feels different. The kitchen counter is clear. The shelves hold only a few carefully chosen items. Every object seems to have a purpose. Nothing appears forgotten. Nothing feels abandoned. Within minutes, she prepares dinner without searching through crowded cabinets or moving piles of things out of the way. Her movements are calm, efficient, almost effortless. For many Americans over 50, that scene can feel strangely distant. Not because the home is bigger or wealthier, but because life has a way of filling every available corner. A garage packed with boxes from decades ago, closets holding clothes that no longer fit but are too difficult to part with, kitchen drawers stuffed with gadgets, purchased with good intentions, shelves lined with souvenirs, gifts, and forgotten purchases that once promised happiness. Most people didn't create this clutter intentionally. It happened slowly. A lifetime of responsibilities, a lifetime of memories, a lifetime of just in case. And over the years, something unexpected happened. The home that was supposed to provide comfort began demanding attention instead. Researchers have found that visual clutter quietly increases mental fatigue. Even when we think we're ignoring it, the brain continues processing everything around us. Every crowded shelf, every overflowing drawer, every unfinished decision becomes a small drain on our energy. But here's the deeper issue. The problem isn't simply the number of things we own. It's the habit of allowing unnecessary things to enter our lives in the first place. This is where a powerful Japanese philosophy offers a different path. Rather than constantly organizing more possessions, many Japanese people focus on preventing clutter before it begins. The goal isn't deprivation. It's freedom. It's creating a home that supports peace instead of stealing it. Today, we'll explore 15 things many Japanese people quietly stopped buying years ago. Some may surprise you. Others may challenge habits you've carried for decades. And stay with me until number 15, because it isn't a physical item at all. It's the hidden purchasing habit that creates more clutter, stress, and regret than anything else on this list. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why some people need less to feel calmer, lighter, and far more at peace. Let's begin by challenging one of the most common beliefs about saving money, that buying something on sale is always a smart decision. Number 1. Household items bought simply because they were discounted. A Japanese home may look simple, but behind that simplicity is a quiet habit. Many people refuse to buy something merely because it's cheaper today. Yet, countless homes are filled with extra towels, kitchen gadgets, storage containers, and decorative items purchased during sales and never truly needed. The problem isn't the money spent. It's the mental space those purchases continue to occupy. Each unused item becomes a small reminder of an impulsive decision. In Japanese, thinking value is not determined by a lower price. Value is determined by usefulness. The shift is simple. Before buying anything, ask one question. Would I still want this if it weren't on sale? If the answer is no, leave it behind. But buying less is only the beginning. The next mistake is even more common because it disguises itself as being organized. Number 2, buying storage solutions before removing clutter. In many Western homes, clutter triggers an immediate solution. Buy another shelf, another basket, another storage box. It feels productive because everything appears more organized. Yet the Japanese philosophy of Danshari encourages a deeper question. Why are so many items being stored in the first place? Additional storage often conceals excess possessions rather than solving the underlying issue. Psychologists describe this as deferred decision-making, where objects kept just in case represent choices that remain unresolved. Each one quietly occupies mental space. The Japanese approach reverses the usual order. Remove unnecessary belongings first, then organize what remains. Before purchasing any storage container, try letting go of 10 unused items. You may discover that extra storage was never needed. Number 3. Trend-driven clothing purchases. Modern consumer culture often promotes the idea that personal growth requires constant wardrobe updates. A new season arrives, and advertisements suggest buying something new. A trend appears, and many feel pressure to follow it. In contrast, many Japanese people place greater value on longevity, simplicity, and thoughtful ownership. This mindset reflects the concept of which appreciates space, balance, and restraint. A closet filled with rarely worn clothing creates visual clutter and increases decision fatigue. Research shows that too many choices can elevate stress and drain mental energy, particularly as people grow older. A carefully selected wardrobe offers a different experience, fewer distractions, less pressure, and greater clarity. The goal is not to stop enjoying fashion, but to dress for your real life rather than an imagined one. But clutter doesn't only come from what we buy. Sometimes it comes from the person we wish we were. Number 4, buying products for your future self. Many Western consumers purchase items based on aspiration rather than reality. Exercise equipment specialty, cooking tools, language courses, or hobby supplies often enter the home with great enthusiasm and little long-term use. The purchase creates an immediate dopamine reward, making us feel productive before any action has actually occurred. In Japan, the philosophy of Kaizen emphasizes small, daily improvements instead of dramatic transformations. Progress comes from consistent behavior, not ambitious purchases. The problem isn't owning these items. It's expecting them to create change on their own. The shift is simple. Before buying something for a future goal, prove the habit first. Practice consistently for 30 days, then decide whether the purchase is truly necessary. Number 5. Decorative items chosen to impress rather than inspire. Walk through many modern homes and you'll find objects selected because they looked attractive in a catalog, a magazine, or on social media. Yet, despite their beauty, they often create little emotional connection. Western culture frequently encourages decorating for appearance. Japanese homes tend to prioritize meaning. Every object is expected to contribute either function, beauty, or personal significance. This reflects the concept of where empty space is considered just as valuable as physical objects. Psychologists have found that environments filled with visually competing stimuli increase cognitive load and reduce feelings of calm. The shift is not to remove all decoration. It's to surround yourself with fewer objects that genuinely bring comfort, memory, or purpose into your daily life. Number 6. Constantly upgrading technology. Many people have been conditioned to believe that newer automatically means better. A new phone, a new tablet, a new device promising greater convenience. The anticipation of upgrading triggers dopamine, creating excitement long before the product is even used. But the satisfaction rarely lasts. Soon, another upgrade appears, and the cycle begins again. In contrast, many Japanese consumers place greater emphasis on maintaining and appreciating what already works. This mindset aligns with the spirit of Matanai, respecting the value of resources rather than replacing them prematurely. The shift is straightforward. Before upgrading, ask whether the current item still serves its purpose effectively, if it does keep using it. Peace often comes not from having the newest thing, but from escaping the need to constantly chase it. And now we come to a habit that may be hiding in plain sight: In fact, there's a good chance you're looking at an example of it right now. Number 7. Buying multiple versions of the same thing. Many people believe that having backups creates security. Extra coffee mugs, extra water bottles, extra kitchen tools, extra notebooks. Individually, none of these seem like a problem, but together they quietly multiply clutter throughout the home. The Japanese perspective is different. Rather than owning many versions of one item, the focus is often on choosing one that serves its purpose well. Psychologists call this the paradox of abundance. The more options we have, the harder it becomes to appreciate any single one. The shift is simple. Pick your favorite, use it often, release the duplicates. A home begins to feel lighter when every item earns its place. But physical clutter is only part of the story. Some of the most powerful purchasing habits begin with emotions, not logic. Number 8. Buying food to change your mood. Many Americans don't shop for food because they're hungry. They shop because they're stressed, bored, lonely, or exhausted. Food becomes a reward after a difficult day, a comfort after disappointment, a quick emotional escape. The problem is that emotional spending creates temporary relief, not lasting satisfaction. Research shows that dopamine rises in anticipation of a reward, often more than during the reward itself. In Japan, eating is traditionally approached with greater mindfulness and intention. The focus is nourishment, not emotional distraction. The shift is simple. Before placing an item in your cart, pause and ask, am I feeding my body, or am I trying to soothe a feeling? That one question can change countless decisions. But physical clutter is only part of the story. Some of the most powerful purchasing habits begin with emotions, not logic. Number 8. Buying food to change your mood. Many Americans don't shop for food because they're hungry. They shop because they're stressed, bored, lonely, or exhausted. Food becomes a reward after a difficult day, a comfort after disappointment, a quick emotional escape. The problem is that emotional spending creates temporary relief, not lasting satisfaction. Research shows that dopamine rises in anticipation of a reward, often more than during the reward itself. In Japan, eating is traditionally approached with greater mindfulness and intention. The focus is nourishment, not emotional distraction. The shift is simple. Before placing an item in your cart, pause and ask, am I feeding my body, or am I trying to soothe a feeling? That one question can change countless decisions. Number 9. Souvenirs that no longer hold meaning. Many people keep souvenirs because they fear letting go of the memory attached to them. A trinket from a vacation, a gift shop purchase from years ago, a decorative object sitting quietly on a shelf collecting dust. In many Western homes, these items remain because they represent a moment from the past. But Japanese thinking often separates the memory from the object itself. This reflects the spirit of Danshari, appreciating what served a purpose while allowing it to leave when that purpose has ended. Psychologists call this emotional attachment bias. We often overvalue possessions simply because they belong to us. The shift is gentle. Keep the memories. Keep a few meaningful reminders. But don't ask every object from your past to live in your present forever. Number 10. Cheap disposable products. At first glance, inexpensive products appear to save money. A cheaper tool, a cheaper appliance, a cheaper household item. Yet many Americans find themselves replacing the same things again and again. In the end, they often spend more while accumulating more clutter. In Japan, there is a deep respect for craftsmanship, durability, and long-term usefulness. This mindset aligns closely with Matanai, the idea that wasting resources should be avoided whenever possible. Studies in consumer psychology show that people tend to value and maintain higher quality possessions more carefully than disposable ones. The shift is not to buy expensive things indiscriminately. It's to buy fewer things and choose them more intentionally. A single well-made item often brings more satisfaction than 5 replacements waiting to break. By this point, we've talked about things that take up space in your home. But the next two habits are different. They take up space in your mind. Number 11, buying self-improvement books faster than you can read them. Many people believe every new book will finally provide the answer they've been searching for. A better routine, better health, better habits, better happiness. The purchase itself feels productive, but often the book joins a growing stack of unread promises. In Japan, there is a concept known as sundoku, the habit of acquiring books that remain unread. While the term is often used humorously, it reveals a deeper truth. Psychologists have found that unfinished goals create mental tension, a phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect. Every unread book quietly reminds you of who you think you should become. The shift is simple. Finish one book before buying another. Progress comes from application, not accumulation. Number 12, buying things to impress other people. This habit is rarely discussed honestly because it feels uncomfortable to admit. Yet many purchases are influenced by how they will appear to others. A larger house than necessary. A luxury item rarely used. Furniture chosen more for status than comfort. In many Western cultures, possessions often become symbols of success, but Japanese culture tends to place greater value on harmony, modesty, and usefulness. The constant pursuit of external validation creates a cycle that psychology calls social comparison. The more we compare, the less satisfied we become. There is always someone with more. The shift is to ask a different question before buying anything. Would I still want this if nobody else ever saw it? If the answer is yes, it probably belongs in your life. If not, it may only belong to someone else's expectations. We've reached the final three. And interestingly, these aren't really about possessions anymore. They're about the beliefs that drive our possessions. Number 13, buying products that promise to save time but actually create more work. Many people are drawn to devices that claim to simplify life. Specialized appliances, complicated gadgets, and multifunction tools often seem like smart investments. Yet after the excitement fades, they require maintenance, storage cleaning, and attention. In many Western households, convenience is often measured by what a product promises. In Japan, usefulness is measured by what it actually delivers over time. This reflects the spirit of Kaizen, small, practical improvements rather than dramatic solutions. Research in behavioral psychology shows that complexity increases mental friction and reduces long-term use. The shift is simple. Before buying any tool, ask yourself whether it will genuinely simplify your routine 6 months from now. Number 14, keeping things just in case. This habit feels responsible. In fact, many people see it as a form of preparedness. Extra kitchen items, old electronics, boxes of supplies that haven't been touched for years. The reasoning is always the same. I might need it someday. But that someday rarely arrives. What remains is a home filled with decisions postponed indefinitely. Japanese minimalism often challenges this scarcity mindset. Instead of focusing on hypothetical future needs, the emphasis is placed on present reality. Psychologists have found that uncertainty can increase attachment to possessions even when those possessions provide little actual value. The shift is not recklessness, it's trust. Trust that if a genuine need appears, you will find a solution when it comes. Most clutter is simply fear disguised as preparation. And now we arrive at number 15, the most important item on this list, and the only one that isn't an item at all. Number 15, the belief that happiness is waiting in your next purchase. This is the habit beneath every other habit we've discussed today. Many people spend years chasing a feeling through acquisition. The next gadget, the next outfit, the next home improvement, the next delivery arriving at the door. Yet, psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. Satisfaction rises briefly, then quickly returns to its previous level. The cycle starts again. Japanese philosophy offers a different perspective. Contentment is not created by constantly adding more. It grows through appreciation, gratitude, and enoughness. The shift begins with a simple question. What if nothing else needs to be added today? What if peace is already available in the space you've created? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can buy is nothing at all. If there's one idea connecting everything we've discussed today, it's this. A peaceful home is not created by buying the right things. It's created by refusing to carry what no longer belongs. The Japanese approach is not really about minimalism. It's about intention. It's about choosing what deserves your space, your attention, and your energy. Every unnecessary purchase, every forgotten object, every just-in-case possession asks something from you. A little space, a little time, a little mental energy. And over the years, those little demands add up. So don't try to change everything at once. Don't spend the entire weekend decluttering. Don't make this another overwhelming project. Instead, choose one small step. Tonight, before you go to bed, find a single item in your home that no longer serves your life. Just one. A duplicate. An unused purchase. Something you've been holding on to out of habit rather than purpose. Then let it go. Small actions create lasting change. That's where transformation begins. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of the 15 habits surprised you the most? And which one do you think has been quietly affecting your life for years? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this video changed the way you think about what enters your home, share it with someone who might need this message too. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next one.